Will you sneeze?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Jimmy Faluca reporting with Frank. Frank, how's it going, buddy?
Good.
You're doing good. Well, we are a matter of 3 days before Money in the Bank. A lot has happened since the last time we were together. Few major things that have to be spoken of. Not only did AJ Styles fail to win the WWE Championship, he has turned heel and has joined up once again after a 2-week departure with Gallows and Anderson. And Seth Rollins has returned a little earlier than expected from injury. And at Money in the Bank, several matches will be taking place. AJ Styles will be fighting John Cena. We will get into that in a bit. Roman Reigns will be defending the WWE Championship against Seth Rollins. I believe it's a singles match, Frank, or is it in fact a ladder match?
Who's that? Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins?
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Is it a regular match or a ladder match?
Yeah, it's a straight-up regular match.
Okay. And then we got the Money in the Bank briefcase match, which is featuring Chris Jericho, Cesaro, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, oh my God, Alberto Del Rio, and I believe I said Kevin Owens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn,
Cesaro, Jericho, Del Rio, and Zayn.
Del Rio.
That's 5 guys.
No, there's 6.
Is there?
Yes, there is 6. Wow, I can't believe I can't think of the Dean Ambrose. That just goes to show you what they've done with him, that we couldn't think of the fact that he was in the fucking match. Let's just get right into the predictions. In terms of the championship match, there's no way that Seth Rollins is beating Roman Reigns.
Yeah, not in his first match back.
No, not at all. The only way Roman Reigns is losing that belt at this point is if he gets screwed. I do not see him losing clean whatsoever. He's getting the Cena treatment, so let's just call it for what it is.
Yeah, like I told you, I think he's gonna hold the belt at minimum until SummerSlam.
I agree with that.
I don't think anything big is gonna happen until the official brand split and the draft.
I actually agree with Frank 100% on that one. The Money in the Bank ladder match, it's going to go one of 2 ways. It's either going to be Dean Ambrose or it's going to be Kevin Owens. I seriously doubt Dean Ambrose is winning because, like I said...
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we start with the guys that we think have absolutely no chance?
Cesaro has absolutely no chance.
Okay. Del Rio?
No chance whatsoever.
Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn has no chance.
No chance in hell.
So that leaves Jericho, Ambrose, and Owens.
And Owens. Jericho has no shot. He's not.
You don't think so?
Not at all. Not at all. It would make no sense, and it would be a waste of the match. If Jericho wins, then that match becomes a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't think so. So that leaves Ambrose and Owens.
Ambrose could benefit greatly. And
I think it would be really great if...
I think that Dean Ambrose, should he win that match, hold the briefcase until it's WrestleMania time. You have Seth Rollins win the Rumble.
Well, listen, I think if the WWE is serious and actually is going to go through with a Shield triple threat, then this is the best way to do it, is give Ambrose the
briefcase.
Yeah.
Give Ambrose the briefcase, have him hold it until WrestleMania. You have Seth Rollins win the money, and you have Seth Rollins win the Royal Rumble. Yep. Reigns holds it to WrestleMania, and then at WrestleMania, if I had control, Dean Ambrose would walk out with the title.
Yeah, he doesn't. I would do it where he doesn't even care. He cashes in before, and they just make it a triple threat.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He lets them know the second Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble, and he knows he's fighting Roman Reigns. That's when Dean Ambrose shows up at the briefcase and says, guess what? You guys aren't going to be alone at WrestleMania because I'm cashing in the night of WrestleMania, letting you know right now because I want in this.
Right. And then
I'd have Dean Ambrose win because he's the only one out of all 3 guys in the Shield that hasn't had his moment.
Right. And then I think if they are going to ever do a Shield reunion, that would be the way to go. After the triple threat.
Can we agree, Frank, that match belongs in the main event of WrestleMania?
Yeah, because you could I could see it right now. Like after the match, no matter who wins, who loses, I could see all three of them hugging each other and putting the fist down, and you have the Shield reunion, and the crowd would go nuts.
Yeah, but like I said, Dean Ambrose needs to get that big win. He's the only one out of all three guys that hasn't really been booked solidly. And an argument could be made, Seth Rollins hasn't really been booked all that solidly because during his entire title reign, he was just a punk bitch.
Yeah, I know. I don't like all this talk. People say that he carried the company, and
he didn't carry shit. He didn't carry shit. He wasn't put in a position to carry the company, number one. Number two, as a champion, he was a joke.
I wouldn't say he's a joke.
I would say he only won one match on his own.
Yeah, he always managed to pull it off. And keep
there was always some bullshit. There was always some fucking excuse.
And then his high spot was when he actually beat Cena and he became the United States champion.
Yeah, but he needed Jon Stewart to do it.
Yeah, but no matter what. But after that, it was all downhill from there. Then he lost 4 straight times to Cena, and 3 times on TV.
And he was the world champion.
Yeah, 3 times on TV.
And one of those times was tapping out.
Come on, so he was a weak champion in that regard.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we got AJ Styles versus John Cena. There should be no doubt in anyone's mind, and I'm just going to put it out here right now. I don't care if AJ Styles wins this match on Sunday. I don't care. What I care about is that he gets the last laugh on John Cena. He beats him in the last match 100% clean. Because even if he manages to win on Sunday, he loses the next 2 in a row.
Or 3.
Clean. Or 3, like Frank just said, which it's not unheard of. Isn't he basically what happened with Kevin Owens last year?
What's the next pay-per-view after this one?
After Money in the Bank?
Is it Battleground?
I think it is.
And then the one after that is SummerSlam, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So there you go. So we're gonna have the rubber match at SummerSlam probably.
Probably, and that's where Cena will stand victorious as he always does. As he always does.
Well, I don't know. He's been taking L's at SummerSlam for the last few years. Listen, the whole thing is, if the WWE is serious about this new era, show us, show the fans that there is a new era.
Well, we're gonna get into that topic a little later on. So, Frank, what are your predictions for the 3 matches? I don't really expect anything too big and major to happen. I think the major things that will happen will be debuts from NXT. Maybe I think before the draft. I think I don't know. We still have to. We're still waiting on Finn Balor, and there's all this talk about how he's going to be the next guy to join the Bullet Club or the club. I don't know. Well, Finn Balor does not belong being portrayed as a villain. He is so over right now. His merch is selling. He's putting on great matches. Why would you ever turn him? Wait a minute. They did the same fucking thing with AJ Styles.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I think it doesn't matter. I think Finn Balor he'll sell merch regardless. And I could see that angle. I could see them writing it where there'll be a struggle for the leadership for the Bullet Club, and it'll probably be AJ Styles and Finn Balor going at it. But I don't know. I really don't expect too much to happen at this pay-per-view. Hopefully,
no predictions on the winners from you, Frank?
Like I said, I think Reigns will come out on top. I think he'll squeak by. I think I can't see AJ Styles losing to Cena. If he does, it'll be a catastrophe. And the Money in the Bank.
That'll make 4 straight. AJ Styles has lost that.
Yeah. But like you said, even if he beats Cena, we have to see him do it again and again and again. And the Money in the Bank, we narrowed it down to Ambrose and
Kevin Owens.
I think you can't go wrong with either one of them. You know.
All right.
I think it would be intriguing to see Kevin Owens hold the Money in the Bank. He could brag about it every week. Same thing with Ambrose.
I just hope that whoever does win the Money in the Bank briefcase, they don't take the usual route that the Money in the Bank briefcase holder does, in which they just lose incessantly on free television every fucking week.
Yeah. That's horrible. What is that? What the hell is that? That what kind of booking is that? The guy who wins the Money in the Bank,
because they feel that because they have something, they can afford to lose.
Yeah, and then it's like they make you try to forget about him until he cashes in. That's crap.
It's ridiculous. No, but there was one Money in the Bank holder that didn't lose incessantly on television. There was actually there were two: Randy Orton and John Cena. I wonder why. Breakfast Club rules, bitches.
Yeah. And
tribute to OTRS Central on YouTube.
Let's just you just got to analyze it. Who would it be most entertaining to watch with the Money in the Bank?
I'd love to see Dean Ambrose tease that he's walking down the aisle to cash in, and he just circles the ring and he leaves.
You know why I don't think they're going to give it to Ambrose? Because, again, going back, him having the Money in the Bank, it'll make him popular, and it'll take the focus away from Reigns, and people will cheer for Ambrose. They'll root for
God forbid we actually have more than one person that the fans give a fuck about.
Listen, I mean, I'm not hating or whatever you want to call it, but I'm just analyzing it. Like I'm going by what I've seen. Everybody still says, "Oh, Ambrose is not. Ambrose is popular." Yeah, he is popular, but that's not going to last forever. That can't last forever. Sooner or later.
That's the problem, Frank. Some people think that just because someone's popular, they could afford to lose. That's not always the case. You look at someone like a Dolph Ziggler, who was over like Rover at one point. They made him lose too many matches. Now he gets over like a fart in church.
How many matches have we seen now Ambrose in being in these crazy 7-man, 6-man matches with ladder matches, Money in the Bank matches, and WrestleMania and pay-per-views? Come on, he's just he's one of many. And can you honestly tell me that his status today is the same as it was in March before WrestleMania?
Absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not. His friggin' stock in the company has plummeted. It is completely plummeted.
Maybe not plummeted, but he's been knocked down a few notches.
He's been knocked down because he was getting too over.
Yeah, come on. For anybody who doubts it, just think back to March, leading up to the network special they had. Remember when he was going up against Triple H? There was people who actually thought he was good. People thought that Ambrose was going to beat Triple H and somehow manage his way to the main event. People were going crazy.
The funny thing, one thing I did find very intriguing during that entire run, every time Triple H beat up Roman Reigns, the people were cheering regardless of the town. Whenever Dean Ambrose was beating up Triple H, the fans were fucking cheering.
Of course. There was no doubt. Going in March, Dean Ambrose was the most popular performer in the company.
And unlike what Chris Jericho says, where the WWE doesn't drop balls, they don't sabotage their own talent, there's proof positive right there that they did.
What did Jericho say?
Chris Jericho went on record in saying the WWE does not sabotage their own talent. They don't drop the ball. Yeah. Your career goes in waves.
Yeah, okay. Jericho?
I agree.
Jericho.
Because
Chris Jericho
is actually going to turn around and say that the WWE didn't drop the ball with the Nexus in 2010.
Chris Jericho is the biggest shill and phony two-face that I've ever seen. If you ever hear his podcast, like whenever somebody starts bringing something up, he'll be like, yeah. And they're like trying to quick change the subject. Like he agrees with them, but like wink, like, because God forbid he ever says anything remotely bad about WWE. He's scared. He's so scared for his job. He's such a big kiss.
I don't understand why he would be scared. The guy's got enough money.
Everybody's scared. Everybody's scared.
That's
Nobody
the problem.
To be alienated.
Everyone should friggin' rally.
Do you know who's not scared? At least not fully. Stone Cold. Stone Cold's the guy who's not scared.
Damn right. Stone Cold's not a. Stone Cold tells it exactly like it is.
Stone Cold don't need the WWE. The WWE needs Stone Cold.
Damn fucking right. They could and. The WWE can continue to portray The Rock like he's bigger than Austin, but let's also remember something. When both of those guys were on wrestling at the same time, Stone Cold was always the bigger star.
Oh, yeah. In the WWE universe, Stone Cold is the biggest star. Overall, yeah. The Rock, he could go and make 100 movies and be the greatest action movie star of the decade.
He'll never be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Not in the ring. No, not in the square.
Not in the wrestling business. Because let me tell you something right now. You take what happened with The Rock and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. If you take The Rock out and you plug Stone Cold Steve Austin in, not only do you have a much bigger boom, it's the biggest match of all time. The Rock versus Hulk Hogan was not the biggest match of all time.
No, not the biggest match. That match came out of left field. Nobody saw that coming. But
if you put Stone Cold Steve Austin in The Rock's position, that's the biggest match in the history of wrestling.
Probably.
You take Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and you make them wrestle, and Austin goes over. I mean, to this day, I still don't understand why Austin refused to do that.
They just both didn't want to do business. That's all.
Hogan had no problem going. The thing I think is, Austin knew Hogan was going to be massively over, and he was afraid that his momentum would be derailed by that. Which I don't think that would have been the case. I think the fans were more sour on The Rock because they knew he was leaving to make movies. I think if it was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, that was 2002, right? That was 2002. Yeah, and then right after that, later on in that year, we got the Hollywood version of The Rock. Remember when he was?
And to me, that's the best. To me, that's the best incarnation of The Rock ever. I mean, I'm not the biggest Rock fan, but I think that Hollywood Rock is the greatest incarnation of The Rock of all time. Yeah,
he was pretty arrogant. But I remember he was
great. He was great, but now
he had that feud with the Hurricane.
No, but wait a minute, Frank. The fans were booing The Rock incessantly. How come they turned him face? How come they turned him heel? They should have just left him babyface.
Oh, I don't know. I remember seeing. I remember The Rock asking the people himself if they were, if they wanted him to turn heel. Basically, he was like, "Are you booing me? Is that what you're doing?" And fans are booing. He's like, "All right."
You see, ladies and gentlemen, back then, when the fans booed you, you went with it and you made money off of it. Today, they just ignore the audience.
Yeah, you don't make 100 excuses.
They never made any excuses. They didn't. Back in the day, they didn't make excuses for the crowd's reaction. Back in the day, they took the crowd reaction and made fucking money off of it. And The Rock is the perfect example of that.
It wasn't because people were getting confused going on the internet and going on blogs.
And they didn't know the fucking internet existed then.
Yeah. People didn't get confused about who to cheer for. Hey, I'm a Rock fan, and now I'm going to go on a blog. Wait a minute, everybody hates The Rock. Oh, so I'm going to hate The Rock. No, that's not the way it works.
It's not the way it fucking works.
Because in their mind, they think everybody's an idiot. Meanwhile, they're the idiots.
Meanwhile, exactly.
No, I keep saying that. They're not idiots. I keep saying they are spinmeisters. The WWE are spinmeisters. They're a great marketing and promotion company. Public relations. That's what they know how to do. If only they could put a fraction of the effort they do in spinning and marketing into the creative of the product.
And that's ultimately the problem that Frank and I have had with this company for so many friggin' years. If they spent a quarter of the time that they spend trying to spin things in their favor to the public eye into their creative, God only knows the kind of...
Roman Reigns comes out and JBL goes, hey, they love to boo the guys they love.
Oh, please. The night after WrestleMania...
What did he say?
John Bradshaw Layfield uttered that stupid-ass line. I swear, I wanted to go to the TV and punch him in his friggin'... I wanted to punch him right in his face.
And then he says dumb stuff like, John Cena, the greatest champion of all time.
Oh, God. Jerk. Don't get me fucking started on that.
I'll be right back.
But while Frank is stepping away, that's what I want to touch on. The Rock. The Rock is the perfect example of everything Frank and I have been saying is true. Because if everything Frank and I have been saying was false, The Rock would have never turned heel in 97, and he would have never turned heel in 2003. Because if everything we're saying is false, the reaction alone would have been would have been enough to sustain The Rock, and he would have never turned heel. But he did. Why did he turn heel? Because the crowd was fucking against him. Why does that same mentality not apply to Roman Reigns of today? Why did it not apply the last 10 years to John Cena? Why? WWE didn't have any competition in 2002, 2003. They still turned The Rock heel. Why? Because the fans were against him. What happened? Vince became so out of touch with his audience and just not giving a fuck. He just decided, I'm going to play with my toys my way and fuck the audience. It's not how it works. And that's why the ratings have continued to decline. That's why fan enjoyment has continued to decline. It's not declining because people just don't give a fuck. No, it's declining because people do give a fuck. You know, WWE succeeded in taking a guy that I've liked for years in Roman Reigns and making me dislike his character. So you took one of my favorite characters, a guy that I think is very talented, has a great upside, could do a lot of great things, and you're making me dislike him. That's upsetting to me as a viewer, because you're taking a character I like and you're making me hate him because you're forcing him on the audience rather than letting him get over organically. You know, for so many months, people couldn't stand all of my ranting on the Daniel Bryan stuff. But you want to know the reason for that? Because he was organically more over than anybody else in the company, and they wanted him to be down here when he should have been up here.
Right. And what happened on the Raw after Seth Rollins came back? Or actually, when at Extreme Rules and Seth Rollins came back.
When Seth Rollins came out and pedigreed Roman Reigns, he got a hero's welcome.
And what happened on the next night in Raw?
He came out and got another hero's welcome.
The crowd was there. They christened him as their hero. They wanted Rollins. They cheered him. This guy, the pop, and you could feel the energy that they.
When's the last time that a babyface got a pop like that? Probably not since the Rumble when AJ Styles debuted.
Or even before that. I'd say go back to Daniel Bryan. I felt that energy in my living room. And what happens?
And in one swift motion, WWE picked up the pin and stuck it right into the fucking balloon. Yep. For what reason?
Because
I would love to know I would love for somebody, whether it's in the comments section or an email or a Facebook message, Instagram, or whatever the fuck you got to do, explain the rationale to why you take a guy who obviously had a lot coming into his return. You knew people were going to be behind him. Why would you?
James, that shows you the WWE's hand. It's Roman Reigns right now. That shows you Seth Rollins was just supposed to get served up to Roman Reigns before he got hurt.
No, I know that. Roman Reigns was supposed to win. If he didn't win the title at Survivor Series, he was going to win it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, or for Rollins. So, I mean, I have to come on here and say it over and over. They have so much money invested and TV time invested in Roman Reigns that they're gonna go with him till the ship burns, to the plane crash.
It's funny, if you look at the ratings, the ship is burning.
Yeah.
And you want to know what I find hysterical more than anything? For 10 years, they shoved John Cena and his likeness and his bullshit down everyone's throats and up our asses, and the ratings have done this.
And everybody should ask themselves, why do you think they're doing the brand split? Because of the fans?
No, they're doing the brand split because USA went to them and turned around and said the ratings for SmackDown are terrible. You need to do something with it.
Yeah, and the ratings for Raw are not that great either.
No, but the ratings from Raw haven't reached the low levels of SmackDown.
Right.
They are, though. They're going to be heading in that direction. If shit doesn't change, that's where the ratings are heading. Where SmackDown is where Raw is heading. And guess what? SmackDown's heading towards TNA level ratings.
Well, I mean,
how bad is that, Frank?
Because I mean, what as a fan do they entice you with watching SmackDown?
They entice you with nothing.
They gave you replays. They gave you replays and recaps of what happened on Raw. They give you B matches.
I'll describe it to you the way my favorite podcaster does. If it didn't happen on if it didn't happen on Raw, it didn't happen. That's how they treated SmackDown the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because SmackDown was always a great fucking show.
Right.
There was a time where SmackDown was
better
the
than
better show.
Yeah, in the mid-2000s when Paul Heyman was writing the show.
Of course, because look who you had running it. It wasn't an egotistical Vince McMahon running the ship by himself with no one challenging him. Paul Heyman used to challenge Vince on and proof positive. When Vince McMahon is challenged, great shit goes on. He was challenged by WCW, and his creative philosophy was different, and the show was the best it ever had been. Then on SmackDown, when Paul Heyman was in charge, he used to challenge Vince on every fucking thing. And look at how great SmackDown was. My best friend Christian, Chris, hope you feel better, dude. He used to tell me, Jimmy, when I was a teenager, I only watched SmackDown because SmackDown was the best wrestling that money could buy.
Yeah, it was like NXT is right now.
It pretty much was, because you had the SmackDown 6. Those guys were so talented. And then you also had the veterans like The Undertaker and Chris Jericho, who would bring the young guys along. And it was just such a great formula. It really was. And that's something that I personally miss about wrestling. I miss the fans' reaction controlling how the characters flowed, because the show was so much more enjoyable. It was so much more enjoyable. If you're watching an episode of Raw or SmackDown or any wrestling show and the crowd's fucking dead, it's not – how do you enjoy that? But when the crowd's really going nuts and they're really into it, it's much easier to get sucked in and enjoy it. I watched the last I can't name a single NXT special that was bad. But the last 2 NXT specials have been favorites of mine, especially Dallas. Because from the first match to the last match, every match mattered. That's what I love about NXT. And that's something I'd like to get into, Frank, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
NXT, what I love about NXT is that they present their product like every single match matters. Every match matters, from the tag title match to the women's match to the special attraction match that they always have, which usually now features Shinsuke Nakamura. Love that guy. And the title match.
Yeah, because on NXT, they're trying to get everybody over, not just 2 guys over.
That's what I love about NXT. There are so many guys that are over, and they're getting the correct reactions. Yes, there is a right and wrong reaction, and that's something that the WWE has attempted. I'll just pretend that this is the device from Men in Black. They have tried to make you forget, and with some of you that has obviously worked, and that is really a shame. They have tried to make you forget that there is a good and a bad reaction. The Rock, who many of you praise, has said many times, if you're a babyface and you're getting booed, that ain't good. That's not good news for your character.
You're not doing your job. That's not doing your job.
Frank, please elaborate on that.
It's the same thing. And if you're a heel and you're getting cheered, that's not doing your job. The job of a heel is to elicit hate and boos. The job of a babyface is to elicit cheers, sympathy. People, you need to make people root for you, no matter what. And now, in the last 5 years, it's turned upside down. Roman Reigns comes out and he gets booed, universally booed, except for the soccer moms and a couple of kids. Did you see that video I posted a couple of days ago about that little? No, I
didn't, Frank.
Oh yeah, it was like a 10-year-old kid watching the match at Extreme Rules. He had the same reaction watching that match that we do. He was a smart kid. He was saying, "Oh, fuck you, Vince. You're just doing that to keep Roman Reigns strong." But of course,
10-year-old kid?
Yeah, it was a 10-year-old kid. He said that. he dropped more F-bombs in 5 minutes. But then,
but it's the 18 to 34 demographic. We're all smarks. Fuck you.
Yeah, but then of course, when Seth Rollins came out, that was the intended job of that, was to make everybody forget that AJ Styles lost again.
Trust me, nobody fucking forgot. Nobody forgot that AJ Styles lost his 3rd straight pay-per-view. AJ Styles and Sting, 2 guys that I wanted to come to the WWE so badly, I now wish they never came here. Because Sting had to do the job to Triple H, which made no fucking sense. But instead of saving him for The Undertaker, you put him in the ring with Seth Rollins, he hurts his fucking neck, and now he can't wrestle again. Dumb fucks. What is wrong with you? Just like in 2002, Hogan versus Austin should have been the easiest decision for you to make. Taker versus Sting should have been the easiest decision for you to make. And, of course, you completely fuck it up because that's what you do.
Now, let me ask you a question. Let's go back to last month. Would it have been bad to have AJ Styles win the belt and
Not at all.
Face Cena now as the champion?
Oh, no. Yes, it would have been bad.
Well, I'm saying, wouldn't this match have been that much bigger?
No, because then fuckboy Buckethead wins number 6.
No. He doesn't win. He doesn't win. And would it have been even more exciting maybe to have Reigns maybe go and win the Money in the Bank, stuff like that?
If you have AJ win the title and he's able to defeat the true Undertaker, which is John Cena, why not?
Yeah.
Because that's what my friend Rich calls him. My friend Rich calls John Cena the true Undertaker because he's got a bigger burial ground than Taker does.
Right. I mean, would it have been the worst thing to have AJ be champion at least until SummerSlam?
Oh, for Vince, it would have been a blow to his ego because they would have to actually admit that he was wrong. And if there's one thing we've learned about Vince, he cares more about being right than making money. Because if he did, he would make sure that a large portion of his roster was over. Problem is, Vince is only focused on his one guy, and that's it. And that's a fucking shame. Yeah. It's a real shame because the WWE right now has so many talented individuals. I can't even begin to tell you. You got Bray Wyatt, you got Seth Rollins, you got Roman Reigns, you got Dean Ambrose, you got Kevin Owens, you got Sami Zayn, Cesaro.
And you got Finn
that's
Balor.
Just 7. Now you got to name AJ Styles. Then you got to name Neville. That's 9.
Finn Balor, Samoa Joe.
I'm talking main roster right now. Main roster. You got those guys. How is it that we're only supposed to care about one guy? What nonsense is this? I don't understand that rationale. Because when I was a kid, I was always enthralled in what The Undertaker was doing. And most of the time, he wasn't the fucking champion. He wasn't the champ. He wasn't the main event. But let me tell you something. He was always in an interesting storyline, whether he was fighting the Ugandan giant Kamala, whether he was fighting Yokozuna, whether he was fighting Mankind all over the fucking place, whether he was fighting his brother Kane, whether he was being reunited with Paul Bearer and shocking everyone and turning heel.
He was a character that was a credible threat.
Thank you. Taker was always credible. Same thing with The Rock. Same thing with Austin, Triple H, Mankind, Kane. Those guys were always credible. And they were credible enough to where you weren't sure if they could be beat. Why can't they do the same thing now? The same fucking guy's in charge. Does that reveal that maybe he's not that big of a genius?
Well, he's good at promoting.
He's good at the business. I can't even say he's good at the business side of it because look at their ratings and their overall bottom line.
Right. I don't think Vince McMahon. He was never good at the wrestling part of it, like the booking part of it. I mean, even though he is the filter, but he was never. Pat Patterson. He was the guy for so many years who made all these great matchups and matches.
You know what's funny? If Pat Patterson was booking these days, you'd probably see a lot more guys more credible. And that's ultimately my issue with the booking is that you only have one guy that actually I can't even say one. There's only two or three guys that are credible. Reigns, Cena, and Lesnar.
Yeah, those are the guys
that already had their time.
Those are the guys
not over. So what are you doing? That ties into the subject that Frank wanted to bring up. Is this a new era, or do we have to start waving the SOS? Frank, you have the floor. Talk.
Well, it's what we've been talking about. First of all, how could you proclaim something before it actually happens? They always proclaim this is going to be the new era. No, you look back years from now and say, oh, yeah, that was the new era. It started at such and such time, and it went to this such and such time. But it's just another marketing ploy, just like the brand split is a marketing ploy. Until we see results, it doesn't mean anything. All it is the same hamburger with a different wrapping. That's all it is. It's a Big Mac with a different box.
So, Basically, what Frank is saying is that we're not in a new era.
And like I said, what's WWE good at? Promoting, marketing, and public relations.
They're not good at bringing in ratings, though.
What's the E part? Entertainment? Do they entertain most of their audience? No.
No, they don't, and that's why
they entertain the soccer moms. Who scream
apparently, those soccer moms and those little kids are the majority, Frank.
Yeah, soccer moms who scream for Roman Reigns and John Cena when they take their shirts off. The little kids who think that Cena's a hero and Roman Reigns is a hero, and everybody else is a piece of shit.
Please, someone present some sort of proof that what Frank and I are saying isn't so. I encourage it.
You'll have people who will say, "Oh, they have to market to the little kids because those are the future fans." Okay, yes, but you could have something for them. They used to do it in the past. They used to have a Saturday morning show called Slam.
When wrestling was at its hottest, there was something for everybody.
Yeah, you could market to the little kids. You can market to the 5 to 10-year-olds.
Why can't you market to everybody?
Exactly. All I ever see at the live events is men. And then they'll tell you, James, that you're just disappointed in your life, and that's why you boo Roman Reigns.
That I what?
Men who are disappointed with their lives boo Roman Reigns. That's why you boo.
Disappointed with my life?
That was a quote from Roman Reigns. Men who are disappointed with their lives boo Roman Reigns.
Hang on. Wait a tick. Let's see. Valuables here. Fiance there.
Yeah, but you don't even know it, but you're disappointed in your life.
Oh, I am so disappointed in my life. I make a great salary. I have good friends, good family, good.
Or maybe every time you go online, you get confused. You secretly want to boo. You want to cheer.
Here's something that really needs to be settled. The internet doesn't need to exist in order for us to understand what's going on. All you have to do is watch the fucking television show. Did any of us need the internet to realize Daniel Bryan was being fucked in January of 2014? Did any of us need that?
Sure.
Because you didn't see him lose one pay-per-view after another. You didn't see him not in the Royal Rumble match, which he should have fucking won, which ended up ruining Batista's entire.
I don't understand. Before people started talking about wrestling on the internet, weren't there phones invented? Weren't there bars?
It's the telephone wrestling community were the smarks then.
People used to talk about wrestling in bars. At school,
the barbershop, the phone, when you hang out with your buddies.
Yeah,
really. Let's really call the internet for what it is. It's easy and convenient communication. That's what it is. The internet is Jesus Christ, I just blanked out again. The internet is convenient communication. It is so easy to communicate with your friends through the internet than it is because sometimes
I'll tell you what. These idiots should thank the internet because the internet is what's actually maintaining and making the WWE grow. People that now we get to talk about it and we get to share favorite moments and get to speculate.
You want to know what their problem is? You want to know what their problem is? And I'm talking about the anti-WC, the ones that blame the fans. And I'm not going to name any names because they know who the fuck they are. And they should be ashamed of themselves for it. You know what their problem is, Frank? Before the internet, they didn't have to hear everybody else's opinions. And they never really had a solid, what's the correct verbiage to use? They never had any real solid belief in their opinions. And when they hear other people's opinions that negate theirs, it makes them insecure and they can't handle it. So how do they react? They lash out. You're a smart. You're an internet fan. This, that, what? Because you can't handle what we're saying?
Do you know how I used to get my dirt sheet news?
There was a phone line.
No, not even that. In the Daily News, every Friday, there was an article about the size of a cigarette pack written by some guy called the Slammer. And he would give you his predictions and rumors. about the wrestling
The
world.
wrestling stuff.
It was about the size of your hand. It was called the guy's name was the Slammer. He had some fake mask on. Whatever.
The newspaper wrestling community.
Yeah, the Daily News. Yeah, Slammer.
Let's see how many names we could come up with for how things used to be. The conversation wrestling community was before telephones. Then when telephones came in, it was the telephone wrestling community. What happened after that?
Yeah, ask your dad if he remembers that. The Slammer in the Daily News.
Slammer, okay.
It was a little article in the sports page every Friday.
Jesus. I feel like the internet has just become the biggest scapegoat to the state of the business.
No, but I'm saying the internet, if anything, is positive for the
now more people can fucking see it. The same people that that say, "Oh, internet fans don't matter," are the same people that use the internet to see the WWE network.
Now wrestling
hypocrisy, by the by.
Wrestling has become trendy and it's in fashion. Women like wrestling. Everybody likes wrestling now. But when I was watching it back in the 80s and 90s, it was like watching porn. You know, you watch wrestling. Oh, like it was this big secret. Yeah, really. It was an underground secret. Like, you know, if you're a wrestling fan, you know, people look down upon you. You would never tell a girl that you like wrestling. Now it's like women love wrestling just as much.
Exactly. And, you know, to me, it's just, especially the IWC stuff, it's so stupid to think that they actually still use a label like that when 90% of wrestling fans are on the internet.
It's just a marketing and a PR ploy. It's deflect. That's all it is. It's to distract you.
I'm disappointed when I hear wrestlers use it because, and especially the ones that have podcasts.
They're shills. They're shills.
I'm like, dude, you're using the internet to talk about pro wrestling.
See,
only the people that are in pro wrestling are allowed to talk about it. Yes, I guess any fan that's watching the NBA Finals right now that's never played in the National Basketball Association, you're an internet basketball fan. Same thing with the Mets. Tonight I watched the Mets kick the shit out of the Pirates. I never played a single game in the MLB, but I guess I'm an internet baseball fan. Get the fuck out of here.
If we say that LeBron James isn't as good as Michael Jordan, we don't know anything because we never played basketball.
Some people say he's a better athlete than Jordan, and some people say he couldn't hold a candle to him. It's a matter of a fucking opinion. There's no right or wrong. However, in terms of this discussion, there is a right or wrong. Yes, the WWE has lost viewers. Yes, they have chased away a lot of their fans. And yes, they treat their fans like shit, and they're lucky that they still stick around.
And then before we finish and move on to that, with the ratings, then they tell you, oh, TV's not the same anymore. People watching it different. People watch it on the internet. Oh, so now, but people are still watching, right?
You know what's funny though, Frank? If the ratings were through the roof, they'd be doing nothing but promoting it.
Yeah. No.
Think about that. But because the ratings aren't good, they try to make it like, oh, it's no different than an attorney. When you're in front of a jury, you try to embellish the evidence for your client, and you try to destroy the evidence against your client.
Yeah. No, people don't watch Raw because it sucks, because it's boring. It's a 3-hour infomercial with some sprinkled wrestling and some sprinkled boring long promos.
And ultimately, the reason people have stopped watching is because it's the same old shit. Nothing ever changes, and fans are tired of seeing their favorites get jobbed out to Vince's bitch boys.
I could follow WWE by watching a few clips segments on YouTube from the previous Raw and watching the pay-per-view at the end of the month.
Honestly, the way I follow it, like Frank, I just watch a few clips on YouTube or I listen to my favorite podcaster. He covers everything in great detail. And when I hear stupid shit, like hearing that this program between Cena and AJ Styles, now that's something I need to get into.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
I want to know, why are people so excited about this match? When you know deep down, you know how it's going to end.
Well,
deep down, you know it's a waste of time.
One thing about this past Monday's Raw with the contract signing between Cena and Styles, and the week before, I have liked those promos. And in some way, they are trying to appease the IWC fans. They're using words like Perry, and you have AJ kind of dissing Cena, But again, are we going to see?
And it was fucking true. Because
yeah.
the long list of young talent that he's wrestled. And I'm not saying, for anyone that's watching, I'm not saying that John Cena goes to Vince and says, hey, listen, I want to wrestle this guy and beat him and ruin all his momentum. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that John Cena does have complete and final say in what he does. He's been there long enough. He's been the face of the company long enough. If he wants to do something, no one's going to tell him fucking no.
But my point is, all these promos, they are scripted now, word for word. Nobody's improvising. Well, maybe Cena's improvising a little bit. But you hear certain words, certain innuendos.
Keywords.
Yeah, you hear certain words and certain innuendos in the promos, how they are trying to appease
the diehard wrestling fans.
Yeah, just like going back to when Punk and Cena had the feud, it would seem like it would come off like it was a shoot promo. So, but again, that's all dangling candy in front of people. Are you gonna make?
I don't buy it for a single second.
Yeah, are you gonna give it to us? I want to see AJ Styles get a clean win over Cena. Not once, but twice.
Not going to happen. If
is that too much to ask?
For Vince McMahon, it is too much to ask because it would be a blow to his ego. John Cena has never once lost a feud clean in his entire WWE career. Ever since he became the face of the company, he has yet to lose a feud clean.
I mean, just because now they're making Cena look vulnerable. Who cares? They still have ratings. I've said so many times. Just think about it. They like Roman Reigns so much that they're pushing down Cena. Just think about that. Just think about how much they like Roman Reigns. Right? I remember a few months ago, Stephanie, I forgot who it was. She dissed somebody and she said, pandering, that just like John Cena. I was like, wow, she actually said that. She accused the wrestler of pandering to the crowd, just like John Cena. That would never happen a few years ago.
To me, it's just laughable, Frank.
Yeah,
it really is, and it's insulting to my intelligence, and that's something I simply cannot tolerate.
But anyway, I don't. For the lower card, who cares? Apollo Crews and Sheamus.
Apollo Crews is a guy I really like. He's very talented.
I don't think
they haven't done dick with him.
I think Barry Corbin's going to go over Ziggler.
Which he should.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. He should.
Charlotte, I think,
Charlotte's dropping the strap at SummerSlam to
yeah. Rusev and Titus O'Neil, I think that's all a bunch. There you go, PR marketing, because they know they fucked up and they've received bad press suspending Titus O'Neil. That's the only reason why he's in this match. But he ain't beating Rusev.
No, he's not.
And then we'll see that again. I always say it's not what happens on the pay-per-view; it's what happens the next night on Raw. The night after Kevin Owens beat John Cena came out to the ring and dressed him down like he was a nothing. Yeah, it meant nothing. But anyway. And people to this day still talk about, Kevin Owens beat John Cena's first match. Yeah, what happened the next two matches? Completely dispelled all the momentum the guy had. Yep. Bray Wyatt couldn't beat John Cena 3-on-1 in a steel cage match. He needed a fourth member to win, and it was a kid. And then you wonder why no one takes him seriously. Look at Damian Sandow. The fucking guy had John Cena with one arm. Still couldn't beat him. Yeah, well, let's not rehash all that shit. But anyway, yeah. I haven't talked about that son of a bitch in months. He comes back, and it's like the fucking flames of hell just freaking rise up again. I can't. I'm sorry, Frank. I can't stand it. We're obsessed with him. That's what it is. Yeah, we're obsessed. No, I'm obsessed with what the wrestling WWE business has become as a result of his character. No, we're not obsessed with him. We're forced to pay attention to him because he's the focus. Thank you, Frank. I thank you. You worded it perfectly. We are forced to pay attention to him because all the guys that we see should be the future are fed to him. And I don't care how old AJ Styles is. How many years has he been in the WWE? He hasn't even been in for a full year yet. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the other line AJ said was Had he been in the WWE 15 years ago, John Cena wouldn't have won 15 championships.
No, if Brock Lesnar had
Well,
stayed.
AJ Styles said the same thing too Monday. He said, had I not been he actually said, had the powers that be not kept me out of WWE, John Cena wouldn't have 15 championships.
I'm glad that they're starting to reference the powers that be being behind this guy, because that's ultimately what.
Yeah, but see, I think that's that's candy. They're dangling candy to guys like me and you and other people.
And let me tell you something. When AJ Styles loses his third program in a row, I want to hear the excuses that you fuckers come up with to defend this nonsense.
Oh, AJ Styles is not a big star. He hasn't been in.
I actually heard this excuse. AJ Styles wrestled a future Hall of Famer and Chris Jericho, and he got to wrestle the world champion. What are you mad about? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Okay, yeah, all right, but sooner or later they have to.
At some point in time, the fucker's got to win meaningful match. Otherwise, he's going to turn into Bray Wyatt.
Because right now, all his job, if he continues losing, he's just being pimped. He's being used to give these guys great matches. So they're giving these guys AJ Styles to work with, a great performer.
I remember a time where great performers won.
See, Roman Reigns, he needs a great performer to work with. Otherwise, his matches suck.
Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles, those are his three best opponents. Does that surprise anyone?
Yeah.
I want to know how great Roman Reigns' matches were with fucking Sheamus. Those matches were great. Or the matches he had with Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, or the old time WrestleMania Classic with Triple H this year.
Ugh.
Oh God.
That match, I'm sorry, but that match, to put it in simple terms, that match was an abortion.
Yeah, I said it till I'm blue in the face. If they weren't going to let Ambrose in that match, they should have put it on third to last. They should have closed out with Shane and Undertaker.
That match, to me, the main event of WrestleMania this year was one giant fuck you to the audience. That's what it was. The main event of WrestleMania 32 was a fuck you from Vince to the fans.
The whole WrestleMania was a fuck you.
Honestly, I can't even say that Frank is wrong, because every single match, as a result of what happened the night after, like Frank always says, the night after
and a half hour into Raw the night after, WrestleMania meant
all the major things that happened at WrestleMania was rendered a complete waste of time.
It's what the hell? Let's see what you got. What?
Sometimes I wonder, does Vince draw a pleasure in cheating the audience out of what they pay their hard-earned money to see?
That angle was, you want to talk about abortions? That angle was abortion. Shane came back, Big Pop. He has blackmail on Vince hidden away in some safe.
Sometimes I cannot believe that I still cannot believe
Vince is gonna give him. Remember, he dropped the F-bomb. I'm gonna give you a fucking beat.
I still can't get over the fact that I never can get over the fact that The Undertaker was reduced at WrestleMania to a plot device.
Oh, and don't forget, now it came out that Vince actually suggested that The Undertaker do the job.
What?
Vince wanted The Undertaker to lose.
You remember, Frank, you're talking to a guy that hasn't looked at any foreign rumors.
Yeah, The Undertaker. Vince wanted The Undertaker to lose to Shane at WrestleMania. Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No!
Yeah, that's why supposedly The Undertaker is mad. He's not even taking calls.
Oh, good God. No, yeah. I heard whispers about him being pissed at Vince. I didn't know why.
That's why, yeah. He's not, the rumors are that he's not even rumors are going around that he's not even,
The Undertaker is going to get beat clean
by a non-wrestler who hasn't
been around non-wrestler on a stage like WrestleMania inside Hell in the Cell.
By a guy who hasn't been around in 7 years.
Vince McMahon's a fucking idiot.
No, he's not.
He's a fucking idiot if he suggested that. Oh my God. Did he actually think in his dumb dick mind that was good for business?
Well, because now he figures that the streak is over. It doesn't matter.
This is the same guy that has single-handedly taken a guy that was over in the Shield and now has made him the least over world champion babyface in history. Let me ask you a question, Frank. I'm actually laughing. Is Roman Reigns a guy that I've liked for years, who I have now grown as a character to dislike?
James, he gets 100% reaction every time he comes out.
Is he the least over babyface champion since Diesel?
Yeah, come on.
How could they?
He's a train wreck. Roman Reigns is a fucking living train wreck.
And that's not an indictment on him as a person.
No.
It's an indictment. Let's make sure, because there are going to be people that are going to be hating on us, saying, "What do you hate Roman Reigns for?" We don't hate Reigns. We like him. We don't like the way he's being used.
Yeah, he's a train wreck.
The push of him as a babyface is a complete fucking.
It's cringeworthy. Watching Roman Reigns every week is cringeworthy. Watching him going out there as the booked babyface. No, it'd be fun. It'd be fun if he was the heel. That'd be like,
if he was the heel, you'd be building him up for a major babyface to knock him down.
Yeah, but when he's being built up as the babyface.
Yeah, but the problem is, like Steve Austin said recently, the guy's not able to gather any momentum because he's not getting the right reaction. Oh my fucking God, Stone Cold Steve Austin, a guy that wouldn't know about making money in this business, called him out on it.
So Roman Reigns gets an F. He gets an F. Doing his job as a babyface, he gets an F. A negative F.
And I feel terrible for the guy. The fact is, he doesn't connect with the audience. You know the same things that Vince accused. Remember Vince on the Austin podcast, Frank?
Yeah.
Do you remember what he said about Cesaro?
Yeah,
with the verbal skills, he doesn't connect with the audience. Isn't that what Roman Reigns is right now?
They'll spin it around and say he gets 100% reaction, so he is connecting with the audience. He gets a passionate reaction from the audience, so the audience is actually invested in him.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
No, I had to tear my eyes. But no, that's how
he rationalizes it.
Right. That's the bullshit that you know. And they're trying, and by the end of the day, they'll try to make you. The WWE will make you try and believe that the booing is good now. But the booing is the new cheers.
I'm sorry, but anyone that thinks that a babyface getting booed and a heel getting cheered with no turn is good, you are stupid.
So you
have allowed the WWE to manipulate you and twist your mind.
The WWE thinks that most fans are so stupid that when it's midnight,
don't buy any of their bullshit.
Well, yeah, when it's midnight, they'll tell you it's sunny outside, and you better believe it, or else something's wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly. What? They've been trying, and I'm not going to name names, as usual. I'm not going to name names, but there are people that I see all the time. Some people I see on occasion. They genuinely hate wrestling fans because they don't just roll over and play dead like WWE wants them to. And that's very disturbing to me, because when wrestling was at its hottest, the fans were the ones dictating the pace, not Vince.
Then we had that.
Vince was simply the promoter, recognizing what the audience wants and giving it to them and making all the money off of it.
Yeah, I remember somebody actually had said that the WWE was trying to phase their fans out.
How do you phase out?
I don't know.
Phase out your audience when you're an entertainment company.
That's somebody actually commented that they were trying. The WWE is trying to phase their fans out.
Somebody needs to get their head examined.
But you know what? I don't blame that guy, because he probably heard it from somebody else. He probably heard it from somebody, some shill. Anyway, that's gonna about do it, I guess.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Frank. My anniversary is coming up next week, and I can tell you something. My fiance got me these wonderful Scotch glasses. After watching an episode of Monday Night Raw, I feel like inviting you over, both of us getting a drink of Scotch and forgetting about all this nonsense.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested, the Cavaliers are up 105-87 with 3 minutes to go.
Oh, there's only 3 minutes left to go in the game?
Well, the Cavaliers are going to win, so it looks like it's going to be Game 7.
Well, let me tell you something right now. and I'm not trying to promote basketball because I haven't watched basketball for years. Two of my friends are trying to get me back into it. They're Knicks fans, just like you are, Frank.
Well, I think Game 7 is going to be Sunday, so that's June 19th. Yep, Game 7 will be Sunday, so I think
lots of people will not be watching Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Because
well,
I'll tell you something. Basketball fans, they don't fuck around.
Well, it's Game 7, but yeah, if Henry's watching, I think maybe I'll go up to that bar he's talking about. He's a funny guy. But anyway, I guess that's gonna wrap it up.
I think that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. But actually, I did want to ask one question, Frank, and then we'll call it a night. I know you're not you don't buy any of the WWE's merchandise, any of their DVDs, or anything like that. But I'm just saying, if you were someone that were to purchase their DVDs, what's a DVD that you would like to see them create? Is there any DVDs that if they advertised it, you would say, you know what, that's something I may consider laying down some money for?
I don't know. I never gave it. I never gave it a thought.
I have, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up. Maybe if I talk about one or two, maybe it'll spark your interest.
Okay.
Obviously, at the top of the list is a lifetime DVD on The Undertaker. I'm talking about his upbringing, not the It's My Yard DVD from back in 2001, because that really wasn't an in-depth story of his life. I'm talking like the Mick Foley DVD that came out a while ago, the Triple H Thy Kingdom Come. Something along those lines, where multiple people are being interviewed talking about him. Family members are being interviewed talking about him. I would absolutely salivate at the chance to see a lifelong, DVD on The Undertaker's, just his entire run from when he was down in Texas in WCCW, wrestling as the Punisher, or Texas Red, and his first match against Bruiser Brody was managed by.
They've never talked about his career before WWE.
Very, very briefly.
As me, Mark.
Very extremely briefly in a DVD that really wasn't that long.
So you mean to tell me, in all of his DVDs, they never talked about me, Mark?
No.
They never acknowledged me, Mark?
No.
Wow.
Like I said, I would love to see a DVD on The Undertaker similar to what we saw with Triple H, Thy Kingdom Come. Something where you hear from his childhood friends, if he has any, which I'm sure he did, his family, if he has any, which I'm sure he does, so on and so forth. Pivotal moments. I would love to see that. Him talking about, I'd like to see him talk about the passing of Paul Bearer and how that no doubt wrenched at his heart, learning of the passing of someone that was, Frank, can we agree that Paul Bearer was very instrumental in The Undertaker's career being successful?
Oh yeah, I think they were both made. That was a perfect match.
And whether he was with him or against him, it always worked.
Yeah, I mean, Brother Love was his original manager, but
and very briefly he was passed off to Mr. Fuji before he was put with Paul Bearer on that Brother Love show. Most people don't know that about Mr. Fuji, which honestly, I never really pictured Mr. Fuji with The Undertaker anyway.
Yeah, but I think they were trying to search, but yeah, Percy Pringle.
Once they got Percy Pringle and he became Paul Bearer, was perfect. That's one DVD I would like to see. They actually just released a DVD that I would like to see, which is the best of NXT from when it first started all the way up to now. Okay. I'd like to see an anthology of some of the best matches at TakeOver, because I think that there's plenty of matches that were great. Sami Zayn versus Cesaro at the first TakeOver was great. You got Finn Balor's debut as the Demon at the night I got engaged. That was that was also Kevin Owens' debut.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm sure they will do that.
I'd like to see that. Trying to think other DVDs. They already did a War Games DVD because I'm a big fan of War Games.
Oh, did they put out a War Games DVD?
Yes, they did. The next time you come by, Frank, we got to check it out. It was great. I love War Games. I think it's a shame that the WWE's never utilized that concept. I think once Vince keels over and Triple H is in charge, we'll see it, because Triple H loves War Games. Could you imagine a War Games team of the Samoan SWAT team, Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Samoa Joe against the Bullet Club, Finn Balor, Gallows and Anderson, and AJ Styles.
There's so many things they could do, you know.
No, there's so many things they could do with War Games, and it's a great concept. I would also like to. Well, we already got the Macho Man DVD, which we were waiting on for years. I'm trying to think. The only other, Jesus, I really don't think that there's really any other DVDs that they could do, at least that they haven't done already. Maybe. Well, if they wanted to do something, it would probably take a lot of time. It would probably be the longest DVD set they ever did. Maybe you do a DVD set with all the Hall of Fame speeches. Because if you think about it, the Hall of Fame speech is always included in the WrestleMania DVD that you get every year. I haven't bought a WrestleMania DVD since WrestleMania 29.
Did they ever do the Shield DVD?
I think they did. I'm not 100% sure. If they didn't, that is one that they should do. I agree with you, Frank. They haven't. I don't think they have done a
I
Shield.
think it's in the works. Oh, they'll probably put that out when the Shield, if they have a Shield reunion.
I do think that they should put the Hall of Fame speeches in one giant anthology because, and that's going back to '96 when they inducted, Jimmy Snuka. They inducted Vince McMahon Sr., the first inductee, Andre. That's, even though Andre wasn't alive, that's still something I would have liked to have seen. When they inducted Gorilla Monsoon, that was a big deal because Gorilla, after he retired from the ring, Frank, inform the audience if they don't know, what did Gorilla mean to the WWF after he retired?
Oh, yeah, Gorilla was always he was as a wrestler, and then when he went behind the scenes and as an announcer, he was very important. He was actually the guy that suggested Andre go undefeated. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he told it was his suggestion. He said, "Don't. I think Andre should never lose," and that's why he went undefeated until WrestleMania 3.
Well, let me tell you something. Gorilla Monsoon was a voice that I grew up loving behind the announce desk. Let me tell you something.
Did you know
I enjoyed him with Bobby Heenan, and I enjoyed him with Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, and you know his son also was a referee, right? Joey Marella.
That's his son?
Yeah, that's Joey Marella. He died before Gorilla died.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, referee Joey Marella?
I know Joey Marella. I didn't realize that was Gorilla's son.
Yep. That was his son.
That's news to me. That'll be something interesting to tell my dad because my dad's favorite commentating team, because he watched when you watched, his favorite commentary team of all time was Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh yeah, they were a deal. But when he was doing commentating with Jesse Ventura, that's why sometimes Ventura would throw digs.
Pick on Joey because he's Gorilla's son.
Right. But nobody's supposed to know that.
Just like back in the day when Vince was the announcer, no one was supposed to know he was the owner.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, not too many people did know.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot of people didn't know until the 90s.
My dad always told me Vince is the guy that owns the whole company.
Yeah, you kind of figured it out after a while, with
especially with the Montreal screw job. That the cat kind of came out of the bag with that one.
Yeah,
anyone had any doubts.
Yeah, but it was always Jack Tunney. You thought Jack Tunney.
Jack Tunney. That's a name I haven't heard in years. I remember the last time I remember seeing Jack Tunney. It was during two angles. It was when Hulk Hogan dropped the belt to The Undertaker, and then they had the rematch, and then the title was vacant because both guys cheated to win.
Right.
And I remember Jack Tunney also being involved in the Jake the Snake Macho Man feud, which is so underrated. Nobody talks about it. When the Snake bit the Macho Man on the on the arm, banned all reptiles from ringside, and when Jake's teased having the snake in the bag to bite Elizabeth, Jack Tunney came out and was like, "All right, Jake, let's go, get out." That's the last time. That was '91.
Yeah. Jack Tunney, he was actually the head he ran the WWE in Canada. That was his official job.
That was his on-screen position.
Yeah, but his job title, his real job title was.
But what I like about the Jack Tunney character, the show wasn't all about him as an authority.
Oh no, he would. They would.
He would only show up when something big was going on.
Yeah. So that's an angle. So.
Just like I know you're not a regular NXT viewer, Frank, but on NXT, William Regal is not all over the show. He's only around when important things are going on, and that's it.
Speaking of Gorilla then became the president of the WWE.
Oh, see, now I loved when Gorilla was the president because I loved listening to him on commentary. So it was a sad day when we lost Gorilla because he was great.
Yeah.
Will you stop? you can't even help but smile because that was a great line. Don't you yell at me, Gorilla.
They were great. They were great.
Bobby, they were great too. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Frank and myself. For all the dads out there, happy Father's Day, especially to mine, on Sunday. Oh, Christ. Where's the time gone, Frank? We're already in June.
Yep.
Half the year's going to be gone soon already.
4th of July will be it before you know it.
Yep. Which means I'll be breaking out my American flag bandana, stretching the pythons. He'll be back in the fold soon. It's only a matter of time. Time heals all wounds. But I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Again, like I said, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And for Frank and myself, we will be back. I think the next show we'll do, Frank, is probably before Battleground.
Yeah.
Oh, that abortion of a pay-per-view, it never delivers. But Frank and I'll be back before then. Until then, you guys take care.